know. Thank you.
Please stay standing for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Superintendent Finn, administrators, Mr. Fitzgerald, and members of the school committee, Mr. Cleary, members of the faculty, moms and dads, family, friends, and relatives of the graduates, and of course you, class of 2006, welcome to the 46th commencement of Concord Carlisle High School. As I begin, I'd like to make note of one thing. Andy Sapp, one of our teachers, gave the flag you will see hanging from the main engine's flagpole to CCHS as a gift. It flew over his base while he was stationed in Iraq. Thank you, Andy. We will use that flag for special occasions. And now, it's a pleasure and an honor to greet you today, Saturday, June 10th. It says here, I'm especially pleased to be outdoors in the sunshine. I guess I should have crossed that out before I get in here. And welcome to those of you who are in the auditorium watching it there. Hopefully everything's going fine. Before I address the graduates, I want to take this opportunity to thank the parents of this class. Nearly every day, in so many ways, you've been ever present and ever busy, doing all manner of things to help this school. You put on breakfasts and lunches, coordinated fundraising activities, chaperone dances, and beautified the campus. You're truly part of what makes CCHS such a wonderful place. Thank you for everything you do. To the graduates, over the past 4 years, I've had the privilege to observe you, the class of 2006, distinguish yourselves in more ways than I can mention here. Similar to some classes before you, your class includes students named commended scholars, semi-finalists and scholarship winners by the National Merit Scholarship Program. Your class includes outstanding athletes and performers. Your class includes individuals who have earned awards for art and literature, who've excelled in mathematics and science competitions, who've earned positions in regional music ensembles, and for your efforts, many of you have earned full or partial scholarships. You've delighted your teachers, your coaches, and your parents with your excellence in the classroom, on the stage, in the arena. You've brought pride to yourself, your family, and the community. You've contributed to the culture and fabric of this school in a myriad of student activities. My personal observation is that the true nature of your excellence is in your character. You've displayed sensitivity and compassion in the community service you chose. You've graced our halls with good humor, a cooperative spirit, and a maturity beyond your years. I truly have been fortunate to be the principal at the school you attended. It's because of who you are as people, the character you display, that I am really, truly, sincerely most proud of you and most confident of your future. Very soon you'll face more meaningful challenges and have to establish yourself in a different environment. As you head off to a university, college, other schooling, the military, the world of work, you can confidently rely on what you've learned, how you have accepted challenges, and who you've become as a person. You can be confident that the new challenges that await will never be insurmountable, because the strength of your character will never desert you. I know the faculty shares my admiration for you. This extraordinary and talented faculty has worked with you, laughed with you, challenged you, and judged you. They have judged you to be worthy of CCHS diploma and ready to explore the world beyond. Their presence here today is a symbol of the pride they share in your success and the confidence they have in your future. I'm every bit as certain that you appreciate them as much as they appreciate you. In a very short time, we can all hope, this ceremony will end, and you will join the thousands of alums that proudly proclaim CCHS as their school. Know that we also will proudly proclaim you as our former students. Congratulations on getting to this moment, on this day, and good luck for a rewarding and fulfilling future. Thank you for everything you've done for us. At this time, I would like to ask the band members from the senior class to join the band in the back of the gym. I take great pleasure in introducing the Gold Medal Award-winning Concord Carlisle Concert and Repertory Bands under the direction of Mr. Alfred Dentino. The band will play The Pirates of the Caribbean, a symphonic suite by Klaus Badelt, arranged by John Wasson.
Thank you. Band members.
And now I'd like to introduce an extraordinary young man, a great leader, and someone we've been very proud to have as president of our senior class, Mr. Sean Morris.
Classmates, parents, faculty, and honored guests. It is my great pleasure and honor to be here and to speak with you this afternoon. Thank you so much. You know, as well as you might be hiding it this afternoon, I have reason to believe that Mr. Dulong is actually more nervous about next year than we are. Because while some of us might be traveling, joining the military, getting jobs, or going to college, Mr. Dulong and the rest of the CCHS faculty have an equal, if not greater, task ahead of them. They have to work in the CCHS without the class of 2006. We're sorry, guys, that we have to graduate. But despite being the class with the highest average GPA in CCHS history, academic and artistic awards across the board, and unrivaled athletic achievement, we probably don't have to worry about next year's teachers tear-staining their textbooks. The truth is that no matter how large an effect the CCHS class of 2006 has had on CCHS, our accomplishments and individuality will soon meld into the tradition of excellence that has always defined Concord Carlisle. In the years to come, students will go on learning, sports will keep on playing, and clubs will keep on clubbing without any of us or any mention of the class of 2006. So this day, let's remember what it has meant for us to be in high school. You know, when I first sat down to write this speech, I wondered if it was possible to put 4 years worth of failure and triumph, anxiety and elation into one single speech. But sometime in the last 2 weeks, I realized that I could never put into words everything that Concord Carlisle has done for us. The one thing that I do know for certain is that we are better people now than when we began. And back in the fall of 2002, things were very, very different. Some came from Peabody and Sanborn, Boston or elsewhere, and others came from the vast forests and cowfields of a place called Carlisle. During our freshman year, the girls went to the bathroom in groups, and they began the 4-year-long process of picking out a single prom dress. The boys, on the other hand, obsessed over recent discoveries in the gaming capabilities of the TI-83 calculator, and lived in constant fear of the prepubescent voice crack. But somewhere between day 1 and day 720 of this experience, we have CCHS to thank for the growth that puberty didn't take care of. These past 4 years have actually been chock full of milestones that are in need of recognition. You were probably in high school on the day you went on your first date, or the day you got your first job, or the day that you realized you could never be a professional baseball player. You were in high school on the day you stopped taking the bus, and the day after that when you got your license, and the day after that when you totaled your mom's minivan. In the words of a friend, all of these milestones show us that we have been graduating in one way or another since we can remember. So today, I won't presume to tell any of you how we should feel, or what to remember, or how to deal with the future. Today, I want to briefly focus on 2 pieces of wisdom that I believe have made us better people. 2 pieces of wisdom that we've learned from CCHS, and again, have made us better people. Excuse me. The first is the value of community. As the reader of the morning announcements over the school's public address system, and yes, the most sentimental member of this class, I played a song on the first and last days of our senior year. This song is by an Australian rock singer named Ben Lee, and it's called We Are All in This Together. I wanted to have people keep this in mind when we look back on high school and remembered it for what it really was. really hard. High school was tough. And I think that when many of us look back, we might remember a time when we worked too hard or didn't work hard enough, or times when we were stressed and made bad decisions, or times when we struggled or even gave up. But personally, I will always remember a time in Mr. Yerry's calculus class when he took a moment to encourage us not just to get caught up in human doings, but to understand and appreciate being human beings. I think that the truth is, what kept us coming back, and what keeps us coming back, is each other. We are all in this together, whether you like it or not. The second bit of wisdom that I believe we all leave CCHS with is a passion for education. And what I mean when I say passion for education is how our teachers have taught us to be simply more. In one of Dr. Fury's senior psychology classes this past semester, when students were asked what they liked about the CCHS experience, I can tell you that about 9 out of 10 listed excellent teachers. So, to our teachers, how can we thank you all appropriately for dedicating your careers to us? You could have been investment bankers, or consultants, or folk singers, or maybe even trapeze artists. But you have chosen instead to educate some overly emotional teenagers. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your unconditional devotion to us. I promised 2 members of this class, 2 of my friends, Luke Hennessy and Maya Burns, that this speech would make them cry. Guys, in case you're wondering, now's the time. The thanks for this passion for education extends also to our parents. Thank you for your help and for telling us that it was past our bedtime. Thank you for packing lunches and for putting food on the table. We have not always been easy people to live with, so thank you, moms and dads, for loving us no matter what. We hope, above all, that we have made you proud. But if a passion for education means anything, it is that the learning does not stop here. The reality of our education, in high school, college, or anywhere else, is that it is continuous. And as we stand here today, with our teachers, our parents, our mentors, and our heroes in plain sight, we can say that we will always be students, but we will also always be teachers. Thank you for that wisdom. Many of us seniors will understand what I mean, that high school was an experience of learning how to live at perfect speed. This was a concept that Richard Bach described in his book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, when he said that perfect speed, of course, is being there. Right now, we are there. This moment, this day, this season belongs to us. So for all of the memories and all of the love, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. I told the rest of you he was extraordinary. Someday I'll be voting for him for something. I would now like to invite the class Vice President, Mr. Lucas Hennessy, the class Secretary, Ms. Stephanie Filippo, and the class Treasurer, Mr. Eugene Hahn, to come forward. They will present the class gift. Cricky Cicchetti, the Junior Class President, should also come forward to accept the gift on behalf of the school.
As Concord Carlisle High School has given to us an ideal learning environment over the past 4 years, it is only fair that the class of 2006 gives something back. As it has been said, we embody one of the greatest classes this high school has ever seen. This is such an unbelievable compliment, and our class wants to make sure that none of you will ever forget it. In order to do this, we would need to give something permanent. So what lasts forever? Diamonds are forever, but they were ever so slightly out of our class budget. Therefore, we decided to give 2 wonderfully permanent granite benches that will remain outside the entrance to the student parking lot. To accept our gift, I introduce the president of the class of 2007, Cricky Cicchetti.
On behalf of the class of 2007, we graciously accept this gift.
I might have told them one too many times how good they are. To our faculty speaker, Mr. Cleary received his undergraduate degree at the College of the Holy Cross, class of 1971. After graduating magna cum laude, he enrolled at Harvard University, where he received his Master of Arts degree in 1972. He began his teaching career at Concord Carlisle High School as a student teacher in the fall of 1971, and has been a member of the Concord Carlisle High School faculty for the past 35 years. As a valued member of the Social Studies Department, Mr. Cleary is the current chairperson and has been department chairperson for 11 of his 35 years. During his tenure at CCHS, Mr. Cleary has taught courses in United States history, constitutional law, Russian history, and Chinese history. Along with his teaching duties, he's actively involved in the 4-school Social Studies Consortium, the Moot Court, and the Rutgers Seminar Program. Over the last 25 years, Mr. Cleary has also taught at Brandeis University in Waltham, Clark University in Worcester, Holy Cross College in Worcester, and Wellesley College in Wellesley. Considering all of the above, you may correctly judge Mr. Cleary as an academic and scholarly man. More importantly, Mr. Cleary is one of the finest gentlemen you could ever hope to meet. This is Mr. Cleary's 6th time as speaker for the graduating class of Concord Carlisle High School. Certainly a testimony of how well respected he is by the students and the faculty at CCHS. Mr. Cleary.
School committee persons Fitzgerald, Shannon, Fishalis, Bilodeau, McGinn, Superintendent Finn, our esteemed principal, Mr. DeLong, class advisors Carban and Moriarty, parents, relatives, friends, the great class. My God, I mean, I'm just repeating what's been said over and over again. It's a little tiresome, but the great class of 2006. I also want to say hello to the people over in the auditorium, those poor souls. They're sitting in a darkened room right at this moment. There's a screen up there and nothing's on it. I know, well, don't feel too sorry for them. Much to the humorous derision of my family, I like to put all important family events in a historical context. In that spirit, this morning, as I was editing my address for you this afternoon for the 78th time, I decided that should we be outside today celebrating your graduation, I would recount the tale of Abraham Lincoln's second inauguration. But we're not. But I've written it, so we are. The date was March 4th, 1865. I remember it well. All morning the rain poured out of the heavens in a monsoon so severe the streets of Washington, D.C. were impassable. At noon, Lincoln took the oath of office, turned to the tumultuous audience that had gathered in spite of the deluge, and opened his folder where the shortest and most wonderful inaugural address lay. As he was about to speak, the clouds separated, and the sun shone down upon the congregation. He stopped and looked heavenward. Everyone remarked afterwards that surely this was a sign of Providence's favor upon him. Then I remembered. Yeah, 6 weeks later he went to the theater. So much for heavenly omens. Who needs the sun? We have each other. Traditionally, a speaker at a commencement address attempts to ingratiate him or herself with the audience as early as possible in the speech. 2 years ago, I had the distinct honor to speak to the class of 2004 on their graduation day. They had not asked me, mind you, and for that slight, may they all be consigned to Hades after crossing the river Styx. Their anointed one, Mr. Wilson Flight of the Science Department, was unable to deliver his worthy speech because he had tried to cut off his thumb with a power saw just a couple of days before the event. Perhaps he just could not handle the pressure, or maybe it was just some strange science department ritual. We'll never know. So there I was presenting his recollections of countless trips he had taken with students to God-forsaken places all over the Northern Hemisphere, including Iceland and one to Acton, I think. Living in tents, eating out of tins of food, sleeping in or on mosquito nets, listening to coyotes stalk their prey. Really dreadful experiences. Give me a hotel like the Ritz-Carlton anytime. Clean sheets, nice bed, hot shower. As I read his speech, I couldn't help reflecting upon my only experience in 34 years similar to his, as I chaperoned a group of CC students and their parents to the Soviet Union in April of 1983. Ah yes, fond memories indeed. So traumatized was I by that touching expedition that I swore that I wouldn't chaperone a group of CC students across the street, never mind to Iceland. So I will not ingratiate myself with you in that fashion. Instead, let me try this. I can identify with every significant Concord Carlisle person in attendance at this ceremony. You students think this day is all about you, but everyone else here knows better. Let me speak to the grandparents in the audience. Soon, I will be one of you. My daughter Ann, a 1996 graduate of Concord Carlisle, is expecting her first child and our first grandchild in August. Be honest. I had little or nothing to do with that, but I'll accept it in her name. Be honest, those sage elders of distinction. Weren't you a little shocked 17 or 18 years ago when your son or daughter, the parents of these young people, announced that they were going to have a child? How could that be, asked you? I am not old enough to be a grandparent. My child is not old enough to parent another. I remember when they couldn't tie their own shoes, pull up their own pants. And now they're going to have a child? Impossible. Something was very wrong here, wasn't it? And yet here we are, 17 or 18 years later, and you celebrate their miracles of creation on this graduation day. For all you parents in the audience, I am, like you, the father of Concord Carlisle graduates. Two, in fact, Ann and Patrick, 1996 and 1997, respectively. What a ride that has been. It takes a village to raise a child. What nonsense. You and you alone were there in the emergency room with soccer and lacrosse injuries. You were the chauffeurs for innumerable music practices. You were the ear when the adolescent complaints poured in over unfair teachers, unkind friends, failed romances, and yet the triumphs have been so sweet, haven't they? They do grow up. They are sturdy young men and women of perseverance, grit, determination, compassion, and goodness. Now, how about my identification with you, the students of the class of 2006? What in God's name do I have in common with you? You don't remember where you were when JFK was killed. I do. You don't remember the Iranian hostage crisis. I do. You don't even remember the Rolling Stones when they had teeth of their own. I do. Yet I feel closest to you because, like you, my days are numbered at CCHS. Like you, I hear the refrain in my head, don't let the door hit you in the back as you go out. And yet, how will CCHS survive without you? Without me? Without us? Take it from me, sadly, it will. So let us glory in this day while we have it. You are the culmination of many generations of your ancestors' dreams. Most of us have people in our family who 300 years ago, 200 years ago, 100 years ago, 5 years ago, made the sometimes unwilling, sometimes desperate, yet always faithful, always courageous decision to leave their homeland and gamble everything and start anew. Others of you know that your ancestors came in chains, terrified beyond measure at the prospect of their future. Yet they survived. They ultimately triumphed. And you are the personification of that survival and triumph. Today is the public affirmation of your and their glory. You are at this moment the completion of this chapter of their story. In a very real sense, you are why they came and why they chose to overcome all odds against their survival. Please don't trivialize that sacrifice by leading a mediocre life. Those of you who have studied with me have heard the mantra over and over again. Someone is always watching. Someone is always evaluating. Someone is always judging the quality of your contribution to your country, your community, your work, and your family. In the end, you will have no excuses for a life poorly led. You will have no excuses. Not one of you. You are the product of greatness and courage. So today is a celebration of the past and, of course, of your recent accomplishments at CCHS as, shall I say it again, the great class of 2006. Your teachers, coaches, and advisors have seen greatness among you. How could we identify? We have seen your older brothers and sisters perform in awe-inspiring ways. And who are your brothers and sisters? Every person who has ever graduated from Concord Carlisle High School. You are linked to all of them in a mysterious, I dare say, in a mystical way. And you, the class of 2006, have set an inspiring standard by which future generations of Concord Carlileans will be judged. There are among you people of such goodness and character that we cannot help but be better for our association with you. There have been students battling illness or disability that still, to the best of your ability, engaged your studies with energy and enthusiasm, and we are all better for your example. There were students among you who got up at ungodly hours to trek out to CCHS to get a Concord Carlisle education. And your perseverance, your diligence, your good humor were an inspiration for us. There have been students dealing with family crises and sadness. And yet there was no pouting, but a dogged determination to carry on. It has been noticed. It has been admired. You have made us all better. Soon the vast majority of you will go on to college. You, in every single instance, are among the most qualified students in the school you attend. This is because you had a Concord Carlisle education. You were in the presence of many of these marvelous men and women, teachers and administrators, to my left, to my right, and behind me. You will hear your peers excusing themselves from taking responsibility for their inappropriate behavior by saying they are finding themselves. I would offer the Cleary addendum to this. Find yourselves and get A's while you're looking. No excuses. Too many people have worked too hard to get you to this place. It is unacceptable to let them down. It is unacceptable to let yourselves down. I have loved teaching the class of 2006. It really hit me one day this spring when I came out of a Russian history class that was particularly delightful, at least for me. A senior came up to me and apologized for not being in class, something about a doctor's appointment. How was class? The senior knows enough not to ask the 9th or 10th graders question when they miss class. You remember that one. Mr. Cleary, I was absent yesterday. Did you do anything? Always compassionate, always kind, always concerned about the well-being and self-esteem of my children. The response was, no, we didn't do a doggone thing. As soon as I saw you weren't there, we decided we couldn't go on. So we sat on, quietly on our hands when you returned, and now you're back. Oh, thank God. So back to the senior. How was the class? I said sincerely, I was taken aback, honest to God, but I'll always remember from this group, because I thought it spoke volumes to me about a lot of stuff. I said it was great, and that I was really touched that here it was early May, and the seniors still led the discussions almost to the exclusion of the juniors. That is not how it is traditionally done. By April and the last of the college acceptances, the seniors begin to disappear. Not physically, mind you, but mentally. One sees the 1,000-yard stare, the drool from the side of the mouth, the sound of the head hitting the desktop. Yet not this year. The seniors' response was, we've talked about it. We want to goof off. We want to mail it in. But we don't want to disappoint the teachers. He was serious. It really was a magical moment. He got it. His classmates got it. And it's the essence of the CCH experience in my career of 35 years here. This is our social contract. And that says, if the teacher is sincerely enthusiastic about their subject matter, the students of CCHS over 35 years have always suspended judgment about the worth or the relevance of the topic to their lives and have engaged the material because there was a personal bond between us. We owed each other that regard. We owed each other that dignity. No more, no less. CCHS has been a repository of dreams and a temple of hopes for students and teachers alike. Something sacred takes place in these buildings every day. You and I, though physically absent in the years to come, will be part of CCHS's story forevermore. Those corridors, those classrooms have known our laughter and our voices for years. We will not be forgotten. Those corridors and classrooms will reverberate with the memory of your and my laughter and our voices forever. I do not know what to tell you about the future. You are living through momentous times. In 1995, I was driving through Dover, Massachusetts with my oldest son, Dennis. And he said that he was sorry he missed the 60s because his times, the 90s, seemed so boring. I heard myself responding, "Boring's good. Let it stay boring forever." Only the music was any good in the 60s. Assassinations, cities burning, war, you didn't miss a thing. I wouldn't go back if I could. But since 2001, we are a different people in a different world. You are a generation that will have to launch new ideas, create novel solutions to problems that are analogous to the past generations, but only analogous. And you will do it. When I read an early draft of this speech to my wife, Catherine, she said it was missing something. What's your favorite quotation of all time? Maybe that will bring it to a nice completion. As ever, she was right. I'd like to say thank you to her publicly right now. Anything good that has happened to me at Concord Carlisle High School, anything good that I've been able to do for you and other students over the years, has started with her. So, marvelous person. At your age, I was taken with the possibilities that Robert Kennedy offered to us. I'm a bit older now and have known my share of disappointment with hero worship. But words have power. They do strike a chord. They do touch something in our souls. This still does. In a speech in South Africa, a nation suffering from the evils of apartheid, Robert Kennedy offered the following idea. He said, "Each time a person stands for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, that person sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." Now, I'm not asking you to consider running for the presidency of the United States in order to satisfy Kennedy's call for justice, though there may be among you right now one or more who are harboring such ambitions. But this call to hope can be accomplished in one's community, in one's workspace, in one's home. It does not have to be grandiose and dramatic. It is found in the acts of kindness many of you performed each day for family members, for those who could not take care of themselves, for each other over the last 4 years. Kindness begets kindness. Goodness multiplies exponentially. We have only one go at this life. How do you want to be remembered? I would hope as someone who built something lasting and of great beauty in the midst of a life filled with love and kindness. That is what it all ultimately comes down to. If you had not done that good deed, where would that person have been? What would that person not have accomplished? And how would your life have been diminished, knowing that you could have done something but looked the other way? Have wonderful lives. Have worthy lives. You have brought much joy to the Concord Carlisle community, past and present, and especially to me. For that, I thank you. God bless.
Good afternoon. How fortunate we are to be in the company of Concord Carlisle graduates and to celebrate their achievements with their parents, grandparents, teachers, school committee members, and friends. To our speakers today, thank you for your thoughtful words. To CCHS band members, thank you for your good notes. Today, the next hour, provides the last time that you, as graduates, will spend together in the company of all members of the class of 2006, with whom you have studied, debated, and worked beside over the past 4 years. At CCHS, you have been part of an exceptional community of learners, composed of extraordinary people who have focused their eyes and their efforts on you. Your parents, who taught you to aim high, provided resources and safety nets, served as cheerleaders at games and performances, stayed up nights worrying until you arrived home, provided limits you said you hated but knew you needed. Your teachers and coaches, who taught you how to clarify your thinking, how to analyze, synthesize, synchronize, who opened new worlds of thoughts and action, who expected more of you sometimes than you expected of yourself. Your friends whose influence, love, outrageousness, and loyalty guided you over the past 4 years, as together you navigated the shoals from awkwardness to self-assurance. The community of Concord Carlisle High School, which has taught you rigorously and cared for you deeply, has positioned you to do almost anything, know anything at high levels, to realize your heart's desire. Your charge as you go forward is to build a new community using the best of what you have learned here. And if you were not successful here at CCHS, you have the chance to start anew and to create the person you want to become at your college, in your job, in the military, in new relationships where no one yet knows you. Beginnings always offer us the chance to transform ourselves. And so to you, the 307 graduates of the class of 2006, we are proud of you and all you have achieved. Congratulations. At this time, it is an honor to present the John F. Donovan Memorial Flag Awards, an award given to the young woman and the young man in the graduating class who possess the qualities of dependability, leadership, service, and patriotism to an outstanding degree. The award, presented in memory of former Concord High School and Concord Carlisle High School principal John F. Donovan, consists of 2 American flags which have flown over the high school during the academic year. This year, the Concord Carlisle High School faculty has selected Nora Lawrence and Sean Morris as recipients. Would you please come forward? Congratulations to Nora and to Sean on their achievement.
Thank you, Dr. Finn. Each year, the faculty awards gold medals to the students with the highest scholastic averages. The tradition is to award the top 2 students. This year, the academic excellence of the class of 2006 has made it impossible to limit the award to 2. This year, we'll be giving 3 awards. These awards represent the greatest academic distinction CCHS can offer. I have the pleasure and the honor to present these awards. This year's recipients of the faculty gold medals, Marie Bankley, Sarah Franklin, and Catherine Swanson. Please come forward. Now let's move on to the reason for this gathering. I would like to introduce Mr. Michael Fitzgerald, Chairperson of the Concord Carlisle Regional School Committee, who will confer the diplomas to the class of 2006. Mr. Fitzgerald, the members of the class of 2006 to be presented to you today have successfully completed their high school education and have properly satisfied the graduation requirements set forth by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Concord Carlisle Regional School District. To present the members of the class of 2006, I also introduce their advisors, Ms. Erica Carban and Dr. James Moriarty. Ms. Carban and Dr. Moriarty, please present our graduates.
Sean Christopher Morris. Lucas Hennessy. Stephanie Marie Filippo. Eugene Lee Hahn. Elizabeth Beacon Allen. Abdira A. Abdellahi. Elizabeth Catherine Andrews. Thomas Samuel Abend. Catherine Tolliver Bailey. Glenn Oliver Amundsen. Teresa Elizabeth Barton. Kendall Martin Anderson. Ross Tyler Wagner. Jack Andrew Bilodeau. Victoria Christine Brereton. Benjamin Holden Barretts. Kimberly Elizabeth Bowen. Robert Owen Ball IV. Alina Marie Blum. Nathan Davis Banfield. Isabel Easton Black. Pejman Allende. Anne-Marie Rose Balada. Austin Graham Avent. Marie Jacqueline Bankley. Abigail Nicole Brewer. Zachary William Bosberg. Alicia Taj Brown. Roy Sidney Bondurant III. Anissa Tyra Brown. Thomas Neil Brandon. Allison Moran Bryan. Benjamin Eli Brewer. Sophie Coven Bonomo. Andrew Conway Brzezowski. Abigail M. Burns. Sean Paul Bootsy. Colin James Kaur. Eva Elaine Cataldo. Alexander Cooney. Amy A. Carter. Harry Kaja Conrad. Brooke Lee Cantoni. David Francis Condon. Amanda Taylor Byers. Nicholas Harry Shahamus. Nicole Ashley Butterworth. Christopher Chatlash. Maya Sarah Burns. Elena Marie Chapman. Riley Thomas Core. Brennan Joy Chartier. Kevin John Kosha. Lindsay Marie Virginia Clark. Douglas John Curran. Lee Winona Cross. Christopher K. Curran. Elena Smith Coleman. Francis D'Ambrosio III. Joyce Correo Clannon. John Lyndon DeFrado. Frederick E. Ursa. Desiree De La Cruz. Noel Charles Eastman. Anna Marie Daigle. Kinloch Mason Earl. Elizabeth Alford Curran. Justin Robert Cervantes. Courtney Termulin Cronin. Alfred Corbin Dentino. Emily Jenkins Cote. Eugene Delsner. Jennifer Carol Costigan. Catherine Lee DiGuglielmo. Benjamin Zachary Eisenstadt. Julie Elise De Jesus. Harrison R. Farnsworth. Ventura Hernandez Dennis. Jacob Bosher. Irene Francis Dennison. J.B. James Brendan Finnerty. Whitney Bayfield Doe. Jason Matthew Forte. Mira Elizabeth Dingra. Timothy R. Galligan. Anthony Terrell Goss. Lieh Hope Puritani. Kurt Chandler Gilbert. Sarah Westphal Franklin. Daniel Gerber. Melissa A. Foglia. Matthew Robert Gaudette. Susanna Jane Fardy. Benjamin Mario Gotti. Catherine Amby Ellis. Jorge Andres Gamboa. Tajana Dotton.
Catherine Ann Gauthier. Owen Orrin Ray Jr. Colleen Jennings. Bryce Gurney. Danielle Jeffroy. Zachary Carl Haberman. Isis George Cato. Matthew James Hammer. Heather Woodruff Gladstone. Wesley Cooper Hamnet. Emily Simons Goldberg. Cemus E. Hannon. Kenneth Hu. Mary Elizabeth Alstrom. Peter Roberts Hewitt. Mariette Kelly Gagne. Danielle Seth Pugazian. Jane Ladd Reno. Charles C. Holloman Jr. Hillary Lauren Green. Andrew Otis Oz. Julie A. G. Gray. Sean P. Hasse. Catherine Amanda Goodrich. Tracy Diana Hannon. Alex Ivanov. Ashley Urel Hawes. Devin Winslow Jeffers. Danielle Marie Hecht. Ryan Jennings Jesse. Laura Elizabeth Henderson. Jeffries Nathaniel Johnson. Sarabeth G. Henderson. David Alexander Chubinski. Madeline Rose Henry. Maximilian Klinoff. Joseph Lesses. Elizabeth Wong. Joshua Thomas Lee. Rebecca Lynn Hughes. Richard Brian Lanya. Lucy Caroline Huber. William Langevin. Teresa Wong. Alexander Choate Lambert. Taylor Catherine Presley. Zachary Bradford Conson. Celia Ipsman. Catherine E. Engineering. Dylan Stephen T. Levers. Dan Dalton Jacoby. Keith D. Lewis. Melissa Ashley Judson. Stevens Matthew Lezen. Jelena Camille Keith. Peter Hill Lidwin. Allison Diane Keller. Michael Lopes. Grace C. Kelly. Marvin E. Liu. Jackson Dana McCloy. Kathleen Lebling. Taylor Burt Meslowski. Kristen Malia Lawson. Gregory Stephen Martini. Nora Christine Lawrence. Christian Douglas Manchester. Cassandra Lorraine Knight. Nicholas Adam Looney. Tatiana Andrea Klinoff. Michael Craig Luby. Sarah Emily Kadarian. Rebecca Amy Juan Chuen Lee. Jeremy Mistancic. Elise Lahotsky. Robert Anderson Miller. Kathleen Elizabeth Lightsell. Julio Esteban Montolio. Jennifer Longden. Nicholas Alexander Morley. Jamie Nicole Longo. Zachary Michael Nagler. Samantha Luther. Gary James Noak. Matthew David James Panucci. Jill Marie McGillicott. Jeffrey Hayes Penfield. Natalie Isabel Mazur. James Stephen Pierce. Diana Alicia Martinez. Christopher James Park. Jessica Lee Martin. Timothy H. Padden. Jill Mandrioli. Douglas Reuben Packard. Jamie L. McCoy.
Coretta Francis McGill. Nicholas Pollock. Allison Veronica McGurk. Samuel Jameson Reich. Ashley Carolyn McManama. Corey Lambert Robart. Haley Caroline McNeff. Ron Sedan. Rachel Catherine McNeil. Ian H. Saylor. Chelsea McNiff. Gregory Ryan Scardella. Caleb C. Silverman. Rosalie Corey Nevins. Paul Julian Sedaris. Courtney Lyon Nelson. Luke N. Sedaris. Jessica Carmela Murphy. Kirill Olegovich Shubin. Ariel Lena Morrison. Patrick Hayes Sir. Toby Roth Milgram. Thomas McNevin Schnitzer. Alyssa Nicole Michael. Alyssa H. Noel. Joshua Essex Sinclair. Elizabeth Kyone O. Arthur Vance Smith. Emily Noble Oot. Kevin Smith. Joanna Marie Orlando. Matthew G. Smith. Elizabeth Johnson Orr. Mark Daniel Snay. Katie Morgan Parrish. Alex Sangervis. Jason Spivey Tucker. Tia Monet Porter. Matthew Everett Trueheart. Lauren Frances Lawrence Pettis. Christopher Ting. Joanna M. Perry. Eli Zachary Terrace. Nicole Marie Pedra. Justin Sudama. Stephanie Elise Pearl. Maxwell Elliott Storno. Reina Jayesh Patel. Elizabeth Mary Price. Michael Travis Van Orman. Priya Ramanathan. Michael Vilkins. Vanessa Ann Rao. Cameron Peter Wagner. Heather Nancy Risso. Charles Clifford Walters. Kimberly Marie Rochette. Daniel Eric Wangerlitz. Abigail Lee Rolando. Tucker Wheeler. Walter Sokope Dinitoko Woodward. Benjamin Wilkes. Lydia Julian Kathleen Sapp. Marcus Wydell. Anastasia Yelena Salvucci. William Schuyler Whitney. Renee Christina Salvo. David T. Stromack. Jillian Lazar Ruckman. Mark Major White. Susanna Ronald Hannon.
Catherine Vaughn Schaefer. Thomas James Zimmerman. Megan Clement Shelsey. Laura Bell Stolten. Madeline Parcell Schultz. Emma Keith Schumacher. Olivia R. Ceterland. Allison Elizabeth Sedlock. Elena Romana Ciani. Laura Sierra. Rebecca Ellen Simpson. Alexa Marie Saratov. Christina Ellis Tayloni. Lila Ann Terwilliger. Valerie Michelle Toes. Hannah Beth Tiroli. Susan Xiaoming Tan. Catherine Lynn Swanson. Caitlin Sullivan. Allison Stevens. Shanika Tiffany Spencer. Nikki Barbie Spencer. Anna Elizabeth Spock. Margot Elizabeth Smith. Hillary Rose Urbancic. Jennifer Uzoma. Alyssa Marie Visarello. Heather Winship Ward. Madeline Beth Warner. Haley Catherine Watson. Simonia Shamika Webb. Jessica Weinstein. Julia Stearns Welch. Roby Elizabeth Wesley. Ashley White. Christina S. Wilson. Jill McCrae Witherby. Jennifer N. Zivia. Lauren Ashley Zwicker. Adrian Mary Eichenbrod Zach. Julia Marie Yellick. Sona Nika Wortel. Mary Elizabeth Wolf.
Congratulations. For the last time and finally, I dismiss the class of 2006.
he didn't graduate, did he?
No. My brother didn't